Happy Black History Month.
Yes.
Jonathan and everybody out there, to all Americans, whether you're black or not.
Yeah.
Happy Black History Month, because we're all American, and quite frankly, what a contribution black Americans have made to our society, right?
Absolutely.
And deserves a month, deserves a full year, deserves a
Black,
decade.
yeah, there you go.
Right? Why
Absolutely.
not, right? Do you know, by the way, Jonathan, or maybe you read this card?
Let's go ahead and try
Did you read the card?
I did not read the card.
Okay, because honestly, I'm going to tell you the truth, and I feel I'm a learned man.
Okay.
But I didn't know the answer to this until I read this card.
What is it?
Do you know why? If you ask me why is Black History Month celebrated in February, I wouldn't know, because I would first think, well, Martin Luther King Jr., but his birthday was in January. So
and he died in April.
And he died in right. So why February? And I guess my only answer would be because that's how it was decided.
Right.
But there has to be a reason behind it.
I don't know the reason.
I didn't know either, but according to this card,
okay, the
answer lies with eminent American historian Carter G. Woodson, who pioneered the field of African American studies in the 20th century. So he was the one who actually started studying Black American history. Before that, there was no such thing. You know, there was no, you go to college and you're like, oh, I'd like to learn about Black American history. Well, sorry, there is no course on it.
Right.
So he was the one who started it. It was inspired by having attended a 3-week national celebration of the 50th anniversary of the emancipation in 1915. So 50 years from the emancipation of slavery from 1865. And Woodson joined 4 others in founding the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. And the association was created to encourage scholars to engage in the intensive study of the Black past, a subject that has long been sorely neglected by academia in the United States up to that point.
Right.
So in 1916, Woodson began editing the association's principal scholarly publication, the Journal of Negro History. 2 years later, in 1924, spurred on by Woodson, his college fraternity. I don't know if this is your fraternity.
Which one is it?
Omega Psi Phi.
Damn.
Is that yours?
No, mine is Kappa Alpha Psi.
Is that the competition?
We're founded the same year, 1911.
Right. Okay, so Omega Psi Phi introduced Negro History and Literature Week.
Wow.
Yes. So 2 years later, determined to bring greater attention to African American history, Woodson launched Negro History Week in February 1926.
Wow.
It is also February. February is also the birth month of President Abraham Lincoln, who issued the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yes.
And African-American abolitionist author and orator Frederick Douglass, who was born on February 14th. So in all combination of all of that, it was determined that February would be the best month to celebrate Black History Month.
Yeah.
Now, in honor of Black History Month, we put together a compilation of guests we've had on our show who deserve to be honored for their contributions to African American culture and to society as a whole. Let's watch.
I am the Black man, intelligent, strong, and proud. From this day forward, I pledge my life to the continued development of myself, my family, my community, and to the total and unconditional liberation of my people. We will succeed.
I'm the Attorney General of the great state of New York, and I'm here today to talk about gun violence. I've been here many a day, and I'm tired of vigils, I'm tired of candles, I'm tired of prayers. It's time that we take action.
As an entrepreneur, you just toil away and hope that one day something will happen, but you never know how close you are to making that difference. So my advice to anyone who's looking to entrepreneurship is to stay focused, stay committed, and just keep pushing.
Now the Gullah Geechee heritage, which came from our ancestors, the Africans who came over, who were rice growers from the west coast of Africa, they were the ones who were responsible for actually the economic development of the United States of America.
While my family is third generation from the village of Harlem, my family also hails from the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The Caribbean Day Parade historically started here in the village of Harlem, so the interconnectedness between that which people from foreign shores have done and contributed to this community is absolutely outstanding.
One of the reasons we started this event is that most African or Caribbean merchants, if they go to other street festivals, don't get the amount of revenue, don't get the amount of attention. And the way we organize this particular event is to draw a large enough crowd so that merchants actually make a sufficient living and income.
Critically important that everybody be able to celebrate their culture, but even more important, obviously, this is the 50th anniversary of the African American Day Parade. New York Times has put out 1619, the expose of what this country is, how it was founded. And you really see that this country wouldn't be this country without the contributions of African Americans.
In Brooklyn, 47% of Brooklynites speak a language other than English at home. That's why it's so important with Brad's show. Educating immigrants is so important when you look at Brooklyn, because so many people are there that come from different places, particularly Spanish-speaking community. So this is very important. And when you march down 5th Avenue or 6th Avenue with your parade, you are saying to America, we want you to recognize that we exist. And we're not going anywhere. All of us come from somewhere. And I say to people all the time, when people tell you to go back to your country, you tell them you'll go back when they go back to theirs. Because no one started out here but the indigenous Indians. You don't ask to sit at the seat of the table. You kick the door in and say, I'm going to sit here, and if you like it or not. You fought for your right to do so, and that's what I'm telling the immigrants to do as well.
That's how the country is built. It's immigrants who built this country. Even my great-great-great-great-grandfather is among them. That is where we follow up.
I'm here to better our lives. It's an opportunity country. That's all, America.
He would always say, ay, pelo malo, pelo malo, pelo malo, which means bad hair is growing in. It was a colloquial term. It was a term frequently used. And what I told her was, this will stop with you and I.
We're here commemorating the life, the legacy of George Floyd. So we just came together to say that his life matters and to remind people that George Floyd's life had value.
I found looking back at Black history to be hard. And that's primarily because most of the stories that are told about my history tend to center inside of the pain and the trauma. And so I found that there was something really cathartic and healing about actually touching, seeing in person the material evidence of the past. You start to see people. You start to hear these stories. You start to think of names of actual individuals. So when I am diving down, I'm realizing that I'm raising my hand along with these divers, these historians, these archaeologists, and we're saying, we're not going to wait for someone who doesn't look like us to decide that this history is important and then to put it in a book. No, we are going to do what we can to help raise it from the ocean depths and bring it back into memory.
I am a child of segregation, having grown up in the South, in the deep South, in fact, and in an area that, of course, embraced segregation and rigid laws affecting people of color. The civil rights movement, in my opinion, really began only 30 miles from where I live. A friend of mine and I went to the coast of South Carolina where there was going to be a test of the segregated facilities and also places like even the Atlantic Ocean. And my friend and I, Rendell Harper, we went to photograph that. On the way back, we got thirsty and we stopped at a filling station, and I took a picture of him drinking out of the white orange water fountain. He took a picture of me.
His photograph of you became the famous one.
Yes, I think I haven't been able to find my picture that I took of him. I had 4 encounters with Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. I filmed him with my 16mm camera. I'm very happy that the power and impact of imagery, which has been the cornerstone of my profession, photography. One image worth 1,000 words, has often been said. I'm hoping that people will realize that there's no such thing as race. We're all of one kind. I think the astronauts can explain it best, that when they're in outer space, looking back at an amazing planet, and look back at that planet and say, on that planet, there are people, not African Americans, not Black, not white, not even when it comes down to international relations. When all of us, China, Russia, everyone can really just appreciate the fact that we have a great gift, the gift of life. And let's not waste it fighting against each other. Let's, work towards one accord and one race, one people, so that we can make our planet a better place to live.
Happy Black History Month.
That was beautiful.
That was very nice.
I love it.
And we'll be celebrating it throughout the entire month here at Brad Show Live. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.